morning, happy Monday. Jackie here, joining you Monday morning as I do almost every week to give you a short snippet of legal information. Now, if you have any requests about something you'd like me to talk about, by all means, please message me or put a comment on our Facebook page. We can have a bit of a Q&A if you like. So this week I wanted to talk about some of the features of super funds and why it's relevant in your estate planning. So as many of you would know, super is a really highly regulated special kind of asset, right? And it is not really yours until you're old enough to take the lump sum. It is held on trust for you by the super fund. And that is why your will doesn't apply to your super fund. That is why you need to put a nomination on your super fund about who is getting your super. So that's a broad introduction. There are different kinds of or types of super as well. So you have usually older fashioned super funds which provide a defined benefit. Now, these are usually government employees from 30 or 40 years ago who would have this sort of fund, and hopefully they didn't change it over to a newer version. And some military super as well is partially defined, partially accumulative. So a defined benefit means that you end up with a guaranteed pension amount every year after you retire. And that's calculated on the length of time served sometimes it's calculated on the last 18 months of your wage before you retire, sometimes it's calculated on a combination of factors including some accumulation as well. But the interesting thing that you need to know about defined benefits from an estate planning perspective is that there is no lump sum to take and give to your children or spouse after you pass away. So the defined benefit pension is for you for life, and a lot of the defined benefit pensions then pass to your spouse, but not the whole amount, so it's usually 5/8. So your spouse then gets a pension for the rest of their life, a reduced amount, but then after your spouse passes away, there is nothing left. If your spouse passes first, there is nothing left. There is no lump sum to come out for your children. So in many respects, a defined benefit scheme is great if you're going to live a long time and then your spouse outlives you. Not so great if you pass away early. So that is a defined benefit. The other kind of super fund, which is far more common, is your accumulation style. And this is where you basically have an account with a super fund and your employer and potentially you contribute into that accumulation account. So it's like an account of your own money that's going in, and then whatever you have in there when you get to retirement age is what you can either have paid out to you as a lump sum, or you can convert it to a pension or annuity kind of phase then. So an accumulation fund is very different from an estate planning perspective, because if you're not at retirement age, there is a large lump sum that gets paid out on your death, and it can be paid out to a variety of people that you can nominate, or it can be paid into your estate and go under your will. So with an accumulation, there is a lump sum. Once you're into pension phase, this is where you start thinking and probably needing to speak to a financial planner, because you need to work out whether it's more beneficial for your spouse to get a lump sum of your super, or whether your spouse should get your reversionary pension. So like a defined benefit, you don't get a choice. Your spouse gets your pension, they can't get a lump sum. But with the accumulation fund, you get a choice. Will the spouse convert it and take it as super, as a pension, because there's some tax benefits, or do you want to pull it out into your estate, pay it as a lump sum, because you have more control then of who the money ends up going to? So all these questions can be quite tricky, particularly those who are starting into the retirement phase and we're trying to do their estate planning over that that part of life. But these are things that obviously need to be kept in mind when you are doing your estate planning, and it's something that is glossed over sometimes, particularly for people not going through the process with a solicitor, or with a solicitor that's not experienced in looking at super as part of the estate plan, because super is one of our biggest assets potentially, and it needs to go to the right people in the right amounts that you want it to go to, and the right form, so that you take advantage of tax advantages where you can. So that's really what I wanted to talk about today, was the different types of super funds, and how those relate to estate planning. So I hope I was fairly clear. It can be fairly complex. If you want to direct message me about this, or to email me, by all means you can direct message me through this Facebook page, or my direct email address is on our webpage. Now, all these videos are saved onto our Facebook page, so if you go to our videos tab, there's a whole lot of videos there you can scroll down through with all the topics, if any of them are relevant for you or anyone else. And if they are relevant for someone else, please share it with them. Either write their name in the comments to tag them, or you can share it to them via a personal message if it's a bit private. Otherwise, I hope everyone is staying well. We're slowly getting to a new normal. A lot of us are still working from home. There's 2 or 3 of us in the office at any one time. Our offices are still locked except by appointment. And we're still trying to encourage people to have phone and Zoom appointments where possible. So we're certainly still able to get everything done that you need done, basically. Otherwise, I hope you're enjoying these beautiful autumn, nearly winter days, and I will catch you next Monday at 10.